Hey, Waylon the Welder today. We're going to demonstrate how to do a 1G V-groove with backing using a 7018 at 120 amps. This is going to be our basic setup here. I want you to use the jig as in the previous video to set it up. Using a 7018, our first weld is going to be our root weld. It's going to fuse all three of these parts together. First weld is going to be our root. It's the most important. Okay? It's the most important weld we got is the root weld. Okay? Once you get done with that, clean it out. Make sure all you chip your slag and you wire brush it. Our second one is going to be a filler. Okay? You can go in here and it'll look like this. Put a 2 in there. Number 2 is going to be your first filler. I don't care which side it's on. I don't care whatever side you want to do is fine. Just know that number 3 is going to go to the opposite side. When you do number 2 here, you got to watch and make sure that you don't trap any slag over on between this bevel face and this weld. If that happens, you either need to speed up or adjust your angle. Make sure you get all that slag out before you weld number 3 in. Number 3 is going to look kind of like this. Again, that's going to be a filler. That's your last filler. If we're running stringers, okay, we want it to be about 1/8 of an inch under the surface of the cap, okay? Very, very close, but don't fill it up. If you fill up too much filler in here, when you put your cap on, you're going to have too much reinforcement and you're going to fail that, okay? Too little bit of filler and your cap is not going to be far enough, and you're probably going to have underfill right where your welds touch each other, right there where they should be overlapping. You're going to have a valley in there. Remember, no valleys. All right. Any type of underfill will fail the test. Okay, that weld will fail no matter what. Any amount. Okay. All right. So for your cap, we're going to do a 3B cap, stringer cap. It's going to look something like this. Okay. Let's put this number 4, 5, 6. 4 through 6. This will be your cap. Okay. Cap welds, same thing. Make sure they overlap well. Make sure you're tying them in good. Make sure that it's flush. It doesn't come way over here on our bevels. Okay. You can't just keep adding welds to it to make it look good. You can't do that. Anything over 1/8 of an inch is going to be too high. You'll fail. Anything below the plane of the bevel face, that'll be underfilled and that fail also. Watch for any undercut. You don't see a lot of undercut on these stringers. Now, if you were doing weed beads, which we'll talk about later, weed bead cap fill, it is a little bit different. You got to watch out for some of that there. Okay, we're going to go over this today. In this video, we're going to do a root, we're going to do 2 fillers, and we're going to do 3 caps. All right, if you take a quick look here, we've already got our plate set up, backing strip grinded a little bit. We got our V grooves at 1/4 of an inch spacing, 30-degree bevel on each, makes up for a 60-degree bevel. V groove with backing, we're going to use a 7018. That's what your plate should look like. Notice it's tacked on the ends and not on the back. There's no tack on the back. We're going to reuse these coupons, and if we tack on the back like in the previous video, it's going to mess up our cuts when we use the plasma cutter. All right, so we're using an XMT 350 just like in your previous class. We got it set on 120. Need to flip down here, make sure your knob is on stick. It is. I like to leave my R control about 40 or 50 for a 7018. That's going to be fine. Flip it up. If you need the adjustment, you can use this knob here. Just somewhere around 120 today is going to be fine. All right, so our first weld is going to be our root weld. We're going to start out here on our burn off runoff tab. We're going to come in, let it build up. We're going to slowly come in here. You can do a little side to side roll or a little side to side motion to make sure you're tied into each side of the groove. I like to do that. I like to go slow, especially with a backing strip. It's not going to hurt it to to put a little bit more down. The more you put down on your root, the less you're going to have to put in on your fillers. Okay. All right, it's probably going to take you more than one rod. It's probably going to take two. That's fine. If you run through this with one whole entire rod, you're probably going too fast. You're going to have to slow down a little bit. Okay. Just come in here. You're going to make a slow little circle. You can do zigzags. Fill this baby up. We want it level. We want the root level all the way down. No slowdowns. You speed up, it gets skinny. No trap slag on the edges. And if you're doing this little side to side motion, it's going to help prevent that. Okay. That's where we're going to be. We're going to be using about a 10 to 15 degree drag angle, kind of like this. And I'm straight up and down on it. I'm not off to one side. Don't get lazy and get over here like this. Okay, stay up on top of it. Drag it. All right, so here we go. First one up. Eyeballs, watch your eyes. We're going to start out here on this runoff tab. I'm doing a little bit of side-to-side motion. Get my well puddle built up. Coming in the groove here now. It's looking good. Let's keep that speed. All right. Notice we got our root in. It's clean along those edges. Got a good tie-in. There's a restart here somewhere. That's 2 rods. No gouging on the edges. Okay. Got it good and cleaned out. Next pass is going to be our first filler, or bead number 2. I'm going to run it along this side here. Okay. I'm going to angle it a little bit. Set it straight up. I'm going to angle it a little bit like this. Run down that side. Okay. It's going to cover most of my root weld. Not all of it, most of it. All right, here we go, eyeballs. Start on the outside. Run off tab, let it come in. Go a little slower. I see that it's wanting to touch this edge over here, so I'm actually going to slow down a little bit more so I don't trap any slag in there. All right, so as you can see there, we got our first filler in, weld number 2. It comes right up to the edge. It's about 1/8 of an inch away from the top of the base metal here. It gets a little slower down there. It gets a little tighter down there at the bottom. We have to watch that. All right, so weld number 3 is going to come in here. I'm just going to lay down right on top. It's going to cover all of the root weld and some of number 2. We'll come down here. All right, this was two rods. This one here will probably also be 2 rods. Come all the way out on your runoff tabs, okay? All right, I'm gonna start on weld number 3, filler number 2 here. Eyeballs. Start on the runoff tab, bring it in. Right now I'm deciding if I need to speed up or slow down. All right, so weld number 3 is completed. That's my last filler. You come in, you got a nice flat smooth bead there. You can see it's pretty smooth and flat. No hills, no valleys there. All right, so for my cap, I'm going to start back over here on this side. Start out on the runoff tab. I'm going to come in. That's going to be my first weld right here. I don't want to position the rod in the middle. I want to be right here, or maybe right on this edge. The wire core of this welding rod should be right on the edge of this bevel. Not over here. Not right here. Right here. Not over here. Not down in here, but right on this edge. This can play a major part whether you have any undercut on this edge, and it uses a nice straight line. You got to be just nice, smooth, and steady. So your first cap weld straight, smooth, and clean. All right, so this is my first weld of my cap, or bead number 4. Eyeball. Starting off on the runoff tab, let it build up. So man, I'm on that bevel right now. All right, so we got our first cap weld on. Notice here along this edge, that was the beveled edge. It is completely gone. There's nothing there left to see. As long as you keep this wire core on the edge of that bevel, it will erase it, okay? Nice and smooth. It's not too high. It's perfect, okay? We're going to put cap number 2 right in the middle here. Right in the middle. Not over here. Not right here. I want it right here. Not up here. Right on the edge of the toe of this weld, all the way down. You got a nice straight line to follow it. All you got to do is follow. This wire core should be right here. Not over here. Right there. Not up here. That's going to be overlap too much. Want it right on this edge. I'm going to keep it just like that. This bead is probably going to be a little bit faster. The first cap weld, or bead number 4, took an entire rod all the way down the length. I imagine this one here is going to have a little bit left over. I'll have to move a little bit faster. Okay? Travel speed is going to dictate whether your bead has too much buildup, too much reinforcement, or not enough. Okay? And all that is practice. You're going to have to learn that through practice. I'm going to run in here off the runoff tab, straight down the toe of this weld, all the way down. All right, so here we go, cap number 2. Bead number 2, this will be bead number 5 all together. We'll run it right on the toe of this previous weld. It's like an overlapping bead. All right, so my second cap pass here did okay. As you can tell, it started out good and I got off a little bit. Okay, and it touched the bevel right here, and it did down here again too. That's okay. As you can kind of see, it kind of fell off my overlap there too. That's going to play a part when I put this third bead on. Attention to details. It should have been more like this. I'm going to run this third bead, this third pass, final cap pass, bead number 6, right down this edge. Okay, it's going to cover this gap, and it's going to overlap this bead down in the middle, I hope. If I can pay attention. Last cap, straight down this edge, bead number 6. All right, this is bead number 6. This is our last pass on the cap here. Eyeballs. All right, so we got it finished up. So the last bead there, bead number 6. It's nice, flat, flush. It's not too high. It's not over 1/8 of an inch. There's nowhere in here that has underfill. Okay, as you can tell, the start up here is a little better from my finish. And that's probably because bead number 5. Remember, I told you it kind of fell off. I wasn't paying attention. Got it off of that, so that's going to play a part in all that. Okay, they're smooth. They're overlapped good. That is your 1G stringer. Okay. 6 welds total, 1 root, 2 fillers, 3 cap. All right, so I'm over at the cutting table with my 1G completed project. Okay, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to cut this backing strip off, cut these bevels off so I can reuse them again, so I can the practice video. Okay, make sure you got all your proper PPE on. You're just going to set this here. You're going to drag it down by the backing strip. So we got two nice clean bevels. We can reuse them again on this very same backing strut. What we're going to do is flip them back over, take them back over there to your table, get your spacing right, tack them back in, and you got another V-groove. You should get 2 V-grooves out of each coupon after you finish welding it, then it goes to scrap.